from customer to customer and transport systems between, and to promote such a customer to customer product from the Lufthansa. So a customer could ask Lufthansa for a container, and they wanted to organize the transport anywhere in the world. They wanted to transport the container to anywhere to the world. And this was the target of my thesis, diploma thesis or master thesis 40 years ago. So supply chain management is not a real new new thing. We were talking about supply chains, but nobody was talking about supply chain management. We were talking about a logistic chain, an integrated logistic chain in this time. Okay, some SCM project. We will talk about operational supply chain management in a production planning and control of a supply chain. So the simulation game will be focused more on the operational supply chain management, and those projects here, they will have more focus on project management of supply chains. Well, the simulation study is a study in a small production plant. Like we have seen it in the video clip, we are producing only 3 products, 3 kind of bikes: ladies' bikes, children's bikes, and men's bikes. And the reason is we are producing both. I don't have to explain you the products. Everyone knows what's a bike. Everyone can imagine what about the bill of materials of a bike, and everyone knows how to produce, can imagine how to produce a bike. What should be the production flow of managing an assembly of a bike. Well, we will get introduction of a simulation study. I will start with this already tomorrow. You have to set up a strategic and tactical concept how to work in your group. You have to do production planning, production control, analysis of results, and defining new methods and measurements, how to go on every week. And every week, this means we have to do operations management, what we are doing every time. It's not a project, it's not a project work, which we only have to do one time. Well, and at least the last day, a really short presentation of a strategy and the results of your group work. Okay, we will start with introduction and terms, definitions. I know the one or the other one will know what's the meaning of the terms. Probably you got another impression of the terms we can talk about. If you have experience in supply chain management, I beg you to work with, and if you have experience, you also can bring this experience into this course, because it makes the course more live, and it's okay. Okay, so let's start with operations management. I was talking a lot about operations management, and the general focus of our operations management is the day-to-day operations. So what we are doing every time. So it's the opposite of a project management. Project management we are doing just one time. So if you have to set up a supply chain, well, we will do it in a project. Yeah? If you have to create a supply chain, if you want to establish a supply chain, it is a project. We will not do it every time. Every time we are doing the operations, we are also doing planning and control of operations in a production environment. But these are the tasks we have to do every day, and project management is what we are doing only once. Okay, some key aspects of operations management uh, is process management. Every time in a continuous improvement process, we are optimizing processes to increase productivity. It's also the task is also quality management to ensure that products and services meet the desired standards in the daily work. We have to do capacity management, planning and managing resources to meet production requirement. So to give enough capacity on each working place or in each department and in each company, uh, enough resources to meet the production requirements. And supply chain management, coordination of the supply chain from the raw material supplier to the end of the customer. And I told you our company in which we are working is a real small company. And the problem is not the 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 big company. The problem is that we are responsible not only for one job, for one task in a supply chain, we are responsible for the coordination of the whole supply chain from the customer finishing at or from the supplier to the customer. And this is the difficulty. So we have not to focus only on the production system and to optimize the production. We have not only the focus on optimizing the purchasing part and the delivery part. We are not only responsible to organize and to optimize the delivery paths. We are responsible for the whole supply chain. And this is what it makes it more complicated. Logistics, we are talking also about logistics. And I told you, 40 years ago, we were not talking about supply chain management. We were talking about logistics. And I just want to give you my idea, and not only my idea, what's the difference between logistics and what's the difference between supply chain. I think supply chain is just a part of logistics, and we have walked through different steps in the logistics until we arrived at the supply chain. But I will show you also examples I was responsible for in a time where nobody was talking about supply chain and we were doing supply chain management. So it's planning and designing system for delivery of customers such as material, goods, information, and value flows. We are talking about value flows because we are not only talking about material flow, we are also talking about financial flows, for instance. And also this is, and I will show you one example where I was also responsible to make a supply chain only for the value flows, which was important. Implementation, so planning and designing, we are responsible for the implementation of these logistic processes and services. And we are also responsible for the processing and control of the logistic processes necessary for customer orders and we are also for customer orders and so responsible for the costs. Okay, and here I can show you I think in the 17th of for last century, we were starting to talk about logistics, and logistics was getting more and more important. Uh, but in the first period, we were talking about transport, handling, and storage logistics. Later on, uh, we tried to integrate these functions like transport and handling in a coordinating logistics. And in the third period, we were talking for about 10 years now. We are talking about supply chain management, flow management, logistics. So in the first period, we were talking about the transport and we were optimizing the transport. We tried to optimize the production, only the production. Uh, and we were optimizing the handling and picking, the production and the warehousing. And in the next step, we could see that we have a lot of potentials also between these functions, between the transport and the production. So we got the idea that logistics should be not only optimized by the different structures, we should try to optimize also uh, uh, the cross-sectional functions and interfaces between these functions here. This was the second period, and later on, we got the idea not to think about only, not to think only in the functions and not only in the interfaces. So suddenly we were talking about the whole processes, and we tried to optimize processes, and we were not no longer talking about the functions. So we were talking about the optimization and creating the whole processes, and management of all processes, direct or indirect, involved in the value creation process. Okay, configuration, programming, optimization, and mobilization of. Now we were talking about supply chains. So, so here you can say we are talking for a long time. We are talking for logistics and supply chain managed for me, and not only for me, is the highest level on logistics management. This is supply chain management. Well, classical, if you're looking on the classical production or logistic management and on the supply chain management, what are the difference? On the one side, we are function driven, and on the other side, we are process driven from the where you take into account. We have individual and not synchronized targets of the different departments, of the different companies. Everybody is looking for his own turn. He is doing the best, but he's doing the best for his function he has to do, and not for the whole, not for the whole process. The delivery to the customer is the main target for all partners. Not this is not function driven. This is focused on the whole process to deliver the customer. Assets like inventories are planned in a high security option. So we were planning the assets for the warehousing, to optimize the warehousing. And on the other side of a supply chain, we are planning the assets and inventories across the entire supply chain. I will show you one example. I'm I had to I made together with a Mercedes company, Mercedes truck company, and once they were coming, and they asked me if it would be possible to set up an IT project on the different supply chain steps, so that we can make the calculation for the inventories not only for the different steps in the supply chain, for the warehouse, for the production, for the delivery side, for the inventory side. In this time, it was like that every step was calculating their own warehousing. And the idea was to have a centralized warehousing system so that we can decrease the whole uh, warehouse value all over the supply chain and not in each function step. I will show you this project, and uh, and this was a project not in material management. It was a real IT project. How can we organize this in our IT? And they used SAP on each working step. And how can we bring those IT systems, SAP IT systems together to make the planning, to make the calculation of the assets and inventory about the whole supply chain. The organization of functions and interfaces, active integration of different functions, flow. We have a flow management. We were talking about this. Insecure demands. We have insecure demands on the one side and asset changes. And this was typically in the project of Mercedes. They totally everyone in the supply chain has insecure demands because they don't know what the others are asking for, and so every step in the supply chain is calculating with insecure demands and is calculating more and more to be safe to deliver the next step in the supply chain. And with the idea, we want to give also transparency all over supply chain uh, about the assets and the warehouse, so that it was possible to make the calculation of the warehousing with information about the whole assets in the supply chain. Okay, they were doing local planning of activities and single process without regarding of influences on other partners. And I will show you, or probably we will talk about one project in uh, in the Siemens company. I didn't tell you for I'm also working as a consultant, and for a long time, for about 20 to 30 years, I was strongly working together with Siemens, not only in Germany, also in other countries, also in Singapore, and we created supply chains in the simulation in the Siemens company. And so a lot of information you will get here. These are informations I got in projects together with the Siemens. Okay, and in this case, we had I remember one project where we set up a continuous improvement process, and the first step we made, we tried to analyze the processes in this company all over the whole company, and the first information we got that nobody knew at what point in the whole company, in which process, he knew what his process is, but he didn't know who will be the customer of this process, to whom they had to deliver their results of their work on their working places. So we had a lot of work to do to set up the process and to inform the whole all the employees in the process was their job in the whole process. because they were working all days in their job on their working place, not knowing what's the task and what's the target of their job for the result concerning the customer satisfaction, at least. They were doing the best that they could, and so we were starting to talk with the people, or with the employees, to get the information about the internal supply chain processes from the beginning uh, to the customer. So in the classical production management, we have local planning of activities and single processes without regarding of influence on other partners, on the next partner, and at least on the customer. And here, on the other side, we have a collective planning of activities and processes to seek to win-win situation between all the partners and at least to the customer. Well, definitions of supply chain management, you can find a lot of them. Uh, Here, the more interesting aspects of supply chain management of material and information flow, not only of material, but also information flow. And so IT is getting more and more important in the supply chain to provide the highest degree of customer satisfaction at the lowest possible cost. So we have to organize the management of material and information flow for highest customer satisfaction and lowest cost. So supply chain management, we were already talking about that is a cross-functional approach. I will try to close my second computer here because I can hear my voice in the other computer. I don't know how to manage it. Okay. So it requires the commitment of the supply chain partners. You cannot set up a supply chain without a commitment of the other partners working together in a supply chain. So because you have to work closely together to coordinate and generate the fulfillment of your task. It creates an expanded internal or extended enterprise spreading also far beyond the production location. So, well, we can do a supply chain management in an internal company. And if you're talking about Siemens, the Siemens company, Mercedes company, the internal company is is a big company, and we have different companies or different departments working together in this company. And when I'm talking about Mercedes truck is not far. The assembly of Mercedes truck is about 20 kilometers far away from my house where I'm living. And this is the biggest assembly truck company all over the world. They are working there with about 12,000 employees. And this Mercedes truck company is not only one company. You will see, we have different companies in the whole supply chain. So if I'm talking about an internal supply chain of Mercedes truck, it's a whole supply chain from the purchasing of raw materials until delivering space parts to the customer. In a global supply chain, well, we are talking about a global supply chain if partners are cooperating in a transnational or international company's global network. Okay, this is global. But the measures and the strategy are most the same. We only have to expect that in a global supply chain management, we also have some additional specific things to consider than in a local supply chain. Okay. But a supply chain includes a firms or several firms, facilities, resources, and relation between facilities and resources. Okay. And this is really important. And you already got this information also in the video clip. We are always talking of an industrial company or company working in the supply chain of industrial companies, and they have the three main focuses. The first focus is the sourcing, purchasing of material. We call it source. The second one is make, the production part, make and deliver. And every company has these three main focuses in the supply chain: source, make, and deliver. The main focus of a production company, of an industrial company working in a supply chain is source, make, and deliver. Source, make, and deliver. So we have suppliers, we have intermediate manufacturers, for instance. We have those who are assembling the final products, like the Mercedes truck company, 10 kilometers far away from here. We have distribution centers, and we also have retailers which are selling our products to the end customers. Oh, sorry. Okay. What I show you here is the score, the reference model of a supply chain council. And the supply chain council is the institution in Boston. They have started the discussion about supply chain, and they set up these reference model of a for supply chains. And if you look just see here, if you go in the internet and the score model supply chain council, you will find this model. You will find a lot of information about this model, and this is the model I just showed you. They okay. It's the score model of the supply chain council. I close it. Once again, I just wanted to show you that you will find a lot of examples, a lot of presentations about this model. And they defined that an industrial company is divided into source, make, and deliver in the source, make, and delivery focus departments. And we can say, if we are talking about the supply chain in our own company, we are talking about an internal supply chain. If we have, if we also think about suppliers connection, the connection to the side or to the customer, it's an extended supply chain. And if we want to create a supply chain from the suppliers or from the beginning, purchasing the raw material until the end customer, We are talking about the holistic supply chain, but the methods and the measurements we can use in these supply chains are quite the same, are quite the same. And if our project is organized transnational and in an international, where the partners are not only in one, if the partners are international, organized, we call it a global supply chain. We call it a global supply chain. But this is the reference model of these uh, of this supply chain council, and were founded in 1996. This is a not profit organization, and they set up supply chain management. They were first talking about supply chain management. They are based in Boston in the USA, and they started with 69 members, and today they have a lot more of members in the supply chain council. Okay, it's 15 minutes after 8. I would like to have a small break. Probably let's have a break of 5 to uh, 7 minutes. So we will start after 10 minutes. Okay, a short break, and then we will continue. We have a long day. Okay, so see you in, well, I'll try to be back at 8:25. 8:25. Okay, I'm back. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, good. I am back. Uh, I was always talking about uh, information and material flow, physical flow. And if we check such a the supply chain, or here it's also a logistic chain, there is a supplier and we have a customer. The customer gives information to the sales department, orders to the sales department. Sales department makes the transfer to this information to the production planning. They are doing the production planning and giving information to the purchasing part. And the supplier will deliver material. And then we have to do the production in our company and the production control. And at least we have to deliver the material. We have to do delivery control in our company together with our customers and suppliers. Hmm. The red one here, you can see here, these functions here, these are only functions where we have an information logistic, only information logistic. And only here, the blue functions here, these are functions where we have material flow. What I want to show you, I'm teaching in the Faculty of Informations Management, Computer Science and Information Management. I want to show my students that the part of the information management is really strong. So all these functions here are only information management functions. So an information flows. And only here, in the second part of our supply chain, we have material flow. All those together, we can call it the order flow. And today, also the financial logistics is more or less only an information flow, achieved by lean management, just-in-time production, or uh, I already talked about project where we established a project in continuous improve to design continuous improvement processes. Okay, a supply chain should be transparent. And because if we have no transparency in a supply chain, we cannot decide methods and manage and measurement methods to optimize the supply chain. And well, to identify, for instance, bottlenecks and delay, we can see a supply chain should be flexible. Flexibility is so that we can adapt quickly changes, especially if the products have to be changed. And I have two examples of two examples at the end of this course today, where Benetton, for instance, and Sarah showed us how to organize a supply chain in the model in the producing clothes. Those are two special companies which realized a supply chain uh, for producing clothes. And they are really flexible. And okay, today everybody, and especially also in Germany, we are talking about sustainability. Uh, the production should be uh, should be developed uh, with compliance with regulations and uh, sustainability and socially uh, adapted. Okay, and what's really important in the supply chain, and especially in global supply chain, is risk management. And okay. So we have special object. I talked if we are setting up a global supply chain, that means that we will organize a supply chain not only in one country over other countries. And here we have first of all we have political decisions and the political aspects to consider. For instance, today we have more or less a trade war between USA and China, or we have a problem between Germany and Russia. Uh, the destruction of the Nord Stream pipelines, and for just 1.5 years ago, uh, we haven't had uh, uh, the gas situation in Germany was really hard because we only got gas from Russia, and the Nord Stream pipelines were disrupted, and this was a really hard year for our government to look for other sources of gas because the winter was coming. Political stability, uh, uh, for instance, Ukraine, if you want to set up a supply chain and involving Ukraine, or for instance, Venezuela or Gulf or other countries, probably we will have problems because the political situation is not the best in this time. Or Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, where we have problems for shipping our goods. We have to consider. We also have to consider geographical conditions if we are talking about uh, a global supply chain. We have special areas in the world where we can get natural resources such as Saudi Arabia, and in Germany, for instance, we have no gas, we have no oil, so we are focused to Saudi Arabia or other countries where we can get the oil. Or we have to consider the climate and natural disasters like tsunamis, earthquakes, uh, and uh, okay. And we also should consider the logistics infrastructure, uh, transporting networks. Well, Germany is well developed with highway and rail network, but probably you also heard that now we also have problems with our highways and network because we were not investigating as much as we need for these good uh, uh, transportation networks. Well, we have good highways, and we have a good uh, railway network, but it's sure that, for instance, the Netherlands have better organizations in logistics delivery uh, companies. And I was for some times I was working in a company for importing material, and when we had to deliver the German markets from Africa, We were shipping the material not to Germany. We were shipping the material to the Netherlands because the distribution part was better to realize via Netherlands logistic companies or transport companies than via Germany to Germany. Uh, so the logistics knowledge of the Netherlands is better than the German ones, and this is historical. The reason is historical because the Netherlands were more active in foreign countries 200 years before than the German ones. The Netherlands were active, for instance, in Malaysia. They were active in Southeast Asia, such as also France and the English and the English. And so they have a better knowledge in these companies than the Germans, and better conditions, knowledge conditions. Well, we should think about the stakeholders in a supply chain, such as the customer. We have to satisfy the customer needs, the suppliers, the quality of the suppliers are hardly influencing the production process. The manufacturing efficiency, quality, production capacity are important. By the manufacturing, we have logistic service providers I talked about this, for the transportation and storage of the materials. We have dealers and retailers and regulatory authorities for legal and regulatory requirements. We have investors and shareholders which want to earn money probably with our companies. We have customs authorities we have to consider in the supply chain, and we also have to organize, and we have to work with. We have non-governmental organization, NGOs, like the UN, the Amnesty International, Greenpeace, which promote ethical and sustainable practices, and sometimes, just in Germany or in Europe, they are really strong. The governments for regulations, IT service. We have IT service provider, which are getting more and more important. Financial institutions we have to integrate in our supply chain thinking, and we also have consulting companies. Why is this right? I don't know. We have consulting companies supporting and optimizing the supply chain, our supply chains. Well, we can see that we have advantages in the supply chain management, but also disadvantages in supply chain management. Sure, we are looking for cost reduction. We have lower production costs in other countries. Many things we cannot. Adidas, Puma, for instance, those are not producing in Germany. They have no production in Germany because it's too expensive to produce in Germany. And even if they have companies, suppliers in Taiwan, those are not producing in Taiwan. I had, for sometimes, we also had some students from Myanmar. So the companies of Taiwan, they are producing in Taiwan, and Adidas has their main office in Saigon, in the German house, but there are many things they are not producing in Vietnam. They are so they get the material from other countries like Myanmar, for instance. I think we have several students working in these supply chains of Puma, for instance, of Adidas, for instance, or of well, I could see that someone of you is working in a Schaeffler company, and they are probably they are producing in they are producing in Vietnam, but also probably in other companies. I set up a supply chain for uh, mm, no, for I don't remember the name. I had some students from this company in Mannheim, which is not far away from Germany. Okay, uh, so. But we also have communication problems, language barriers, for instance, cultural differences between if you are working in a global oriented supply chain management. And sometimes I have students working in companies in India, for instance, or in Southeast Asia, and they tell me that well, they have no problem with speaking English, but the problem another problem is that they only have a very short time window to work together, and once I set up this simulation game with students which were finishing their master thesis in a company in this semester, and we will build up groups which were abroad of Germany, so not in Germany. And there was one group I remember. They were built of students. Two were working in India, one in China, and another one was working in the USA, huh? And they built a team or a working group. And after 2 weeks, they told me they don't want to work together because it's not possible. They had no problem to work together with the IT. This was not a problem. The problem was the time because when the one in the USA I set up the course at 12 o'clock in uh, for lunchtime, so everybody could take part on the course. So the ones in those in India, uh, there it was 8 o'clock, or it was 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, but the other one in the USA, there it was 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And when they wanted to work together, they wanted to make their group work. It was not possible because the one went to work, and he was coming back in the afternoon, and this was just in the night of those who were in India. And so it was not possible to work together. So they had no cultural differences and no language barriers, no IT barriers. It was only the time window was not which was not working. And so they uh, they went to other groups uh, and were, and were working in other groups, opening well, advantages are opening new markets. So if you are working globally, we have other markets, and we uh, have an access to international market. But if you are working international, we also have longer delivery times. And this is depending on the products we are producing. If you're only producing information, it's not a problem because information we can deliver it at once. But if you have to deliver big or tall products, and we have to organize transports. Therefore, we will have longer delivery and more complicated delivery times, deliveries. We can negotiate advantages. We can get better position in alternatives because we have a bigger market if we work in a global supply chain. But we have higher transport costs for global transport position of goods. Well, we have the economies of scale because we can produce and we can sell more economies of scale because we can produce and deliver larger production quantities. On the other side, we have more environment impacts like increasing CO2 emissions because we have longer transportations. And we also have a more complicated risk management because the transportation is longer. We have political influences and climate influences, for instance, climate influences, political influences, etc. Well, you can see that we also have trends, special trends in global supply chain management, the digitalization, and I would say that just the IT is one course because the supply chain management is getting more and more stronger because you have seen that the IT takes a big part of the supply chain of a supply chain and supply chain management. But we can use more and more artificial intelligence coordinating and coordinating a supply chain, and you also will get ideas in the simulation study that there are a lot of potentials using IEE, setting up a an internal and an extended supply chain. We are talking about blockchain, but I can say that never I could get an example for blockchain today where we were using in productive companies, but it should be important because the condition of a blockchains are just the conditions we need in a supply chain, such as transparency. For instance, transparency. We will talk about. Well, we will get more transparency. We can automate the processes, and well, we can increase the efficiency. Sustainability is getting more and more importance in Germany or in Europe, not only in Germany, in Europe. We are talking about the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. In this directive, we get the EU asks for documentation of a whole supply chain from the sourcing to the delivery. And regarding to sustainability and ethical practices. And they set up this directive, but now they are talking about if it is possible to realize it, because it takes a lot of efforts to do it, and companies do not like to do it because it's the effort is too immense. And okay, sustainability, and this we are doing for sustainability and ethical practices. Well, in the global supply chain management, sure, we have to regard the risk management, and because we have longer transport ways, and we have to pass different countries, and we have well, just some example, the blockage of a Suez Canal. Probably you remember, I think it's about 2 years ago, when the Suez Canal was blocked, and the whole supply chains in Europe uh, had got big problems. The Corona crisis. Uh, uh, with this Corona crisis, we got a lot of problems. The interruption of gas supply in Germany was a big problem for our companies, and we have this problem today as well, because the gas and the energy is getting more and more expensive, because now we have to buy the gas and the energy from other countries, and the production costs are increasing a lot. Huh? Well, we are talking about localization and nearshoring, and it's not new that it's better to produce if it is possible to produce regional and not global. Uh, Thinking on the logistic process, so the slogan might be our slogan was as global as necessary, but as regional as possible. So because for the logistics, regional logistics is more easy, more flexible, less cost intensive than a global logistics. Well, and if we are working together in a global supply chain management, cooperation and partnerships are really important. So they have to be closer than we are with other companies. And in the simulation study, it would also be possible to work together with other groups. And in a case that we have, I have the same courses also in Greece. I have the same courses also not only in Germany and in Vietnam. I have the same course also in Austria. Uh, and the time when other groups in Austria, Greece, or Germany are working, you can work together with those groups, and you can exchange items, bought items, but also semi-finished and finished products in our small company. And if you are buying material from a Greece company or from a German company, sometimes I ask the groups, can you show me the contract, or can you imagine what should be the conditions of of your contract if you are working together with a group in Greece? What are you doing if you don't get the money, if you don't get the material at the right time? Will you fly to Greece and to manage it there, or how do you act? And what should be the condition in your international contracts if you're uh, supplying your company in a global world way? Okay. Okay, I was talking about Internet of Things. Uh, One part of the Internet of Things is the artificial intelligence. Uh, uh, just some key applications for AE in a production company. With artificial intelligence, we can do a real-time tracking. We have GPS, we have RFID tags, and so we can so we can monitor the location of goods, and we can locate not only the goods in a global system, but also in an internal system. For instance, I had a master thesis there was a student with a master thesis, and he had he had to check and to registrate the whole production process of BMW and how to get the information in each step uh, of the production of the production process production, how we can get the information of each step of the production process. And here uh, we get more and more experience with our idea and GPS and RFID tags, so we can registrate where are our products and what is the quality of our products, and we can analyze this information and can depending on this information, we can set up new measures, actual measures and strategies. Condition monitoring. Today we have sensors we can use, so we can monitor condition environments like temperatures, humidity, pressure, and okay. The Internet of Things can predictive, predictive can organize a predictive maintenance. Devices can predict when machineries or vehicles need maintenance, reducing downtime or to reduce downtime. Inventory management, probably uh, we have smart shelves and bins equipped with sensors so that we can automatically track the inventory in these shelves, for instance, and so we can react and buy, purchase new material, or we can see that the risk of overstocking is high, so that we can actually we can registrate that we have too much in a warehouse. We can enhancing securities. Uh, well, we can monitor the controlling process in a warehouse, for instance, uh, tracking high value goods, so that we have no more lower problems with the security. And okay, we have possibility to analyze the data uh, to identify trends, helping for better decision making and optimization. Okay, we can the sim we can simulate different scenarios, and well, I remember 20 years before, uh, cars were produced. We had to produce a model of cars before, and this was really expensive to make a real model of a car, not of metal. It was made of a special plastic material. Today we can simulate these cars and these scenarios, and so it's much it's less expensive, much less expensive to have a model before the product or the car is being produced. We also can simulate na national disasters or geographical events uh, uh, to 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 uh, to respond on disruptions. Okay. Okay, we are talking about a blockchain, and well, I already told you I never saw a real realization of blockchains. Once I had a thesis. There was a thesis of a student for the German telecom for the German telecom, how to use the blockchain. And well, but they did not continue to realize it. Well, but I think you can imagine that it would be a good product to use it also in supply chain management, because we are on the one side, we have more transparency, because everyone who is involved in a blockchain, every stakeholder in a blockchain will get the information about the whole steps of a blockchain. You can imagine a blockchain will be, well, it can be a book, and a book has pages, and every pages will get a number, and these numbers are referred to the page before. So if you have page number 2, the page before must be number 1, and the page afterwards will be number 3. And if you want to change this page, you cannot, in a blockchain, you cannot change this page. If you want to do a changement in this page, you have to set up a new page. So the blockchain cannot be you cannot change the blockchain or the steps in a blockchain before. So we have a traceability. So and on the other side, everyone who is working with a blockchain, who is involved in the blockchain, a blockchain is not centralized. It's decentralized, organized, and everyone in the blockchain will get the whole book. And so you have a transparency of all steps in a blockchain. And this is the idea of a blockchain I have. And I can imagine that it would be possible to use it in a supply chain, because everybody in the supply chain can check the different checks as transparency of the whole supply chain. And you also have a traceability of the blockchain. You can walk through the blockchain and the supply chain, and you can check every step in the supply chain. In the supply chain. Okay. Well, we are also talking about targets in a supply chain, and sure, one of the most important target is the customer satisfaction. That's the reason, because we are working in our company. We want to get customer satisfaction. Sure, we also want to earn to have some profit, but the profit we will get if a customer is satisfied. And this means that the customer get the material at the right time, in short delivery times. He will get a high production quality. He will get a high delivery quality, delivery reliability. He will get a high product availability. So if he wants to ask us for a product, he will get it. And a high delivery reliability, I already told it. But on the other side, we have to make profit. And if we want to make profit, well, we have to look for our production costs and for our costs. So low handling costs. We are looking for low warehouse costs, low quality costs, high efficiency, low idle time costs. So if you're talking about efficiency, we will try to get low idle times to work all the time. On the other side, our customer, but also we, will try to have a high flexibility concerning the demand variation, because the markets are different and the markets are changing. And in a short time, we will realize these variations, product changes. And here, for instance, an example, Siemens was producing, the first time Siemens was also producing mobile phones. And the most the problem they had was the changes of products. And once I had one employee from those department, the department of a Siemens company, and he told me, well, we had very high warehouse levels because we had to buy a lot of material because we couldn't get it at a good price on the world market, on the work market, if we wouldn't buy a lot. So we bought a lot of materials, and we had to discard these materials because we had very quickly changes, product changes in the mobile phones. So we couldn't use the material anymore. This was a really uh, a problem. Good. They had products with short life cycles. Uh, so changes in products, very quickly changes in products. Okay, or we want to expand on new and other markets. So we need a high flexibility on the one side to adapt our products to the market, on the other side to adapt the quantities for other markets. There is always the questions, what should be the main target, or can we organize uh, different targets together? This is a problem. And just imagine, on the one side, you have cost-oriented targets, so you want to decrease the warehouse value. Uh, On the other side, you have quality. You have quality targets. You want to increase the product quality. You want to increase the delivery quality. And you have time-oriented uh, targets like short delivery times, short throughput times. And if I would ask you, is it possible to realize this? On the same time, to realize shorter throughput times? On the other side, to increase the quality targets and to reduce the costs. Normally, if I would say I want to increase the quality in the supply chain, probably you can say, well, but if we want to produce a higher quality, we need more time. And if somebody needs more time to produce a higher quality, it costs more. I have a nice example of project. I already talked about this project, and now I wanna have to. How can I find my? Uh, I want to show you this example. It's possible to do it. Uh, we were just we had it was a project of continuous improvement. And we were developing, we wanted to develop the process, the internal process of the whole supply chain. Because we had no idea how the material was walking through was the production system. And so we were working together with an assembly department. And we were asking them uh, to whom do you deliver the results of your daily work? And they told me, well, they're delivering the centralized warehouse. What they are doing with that, they didn't know it. Well, it was not for us. It was not well. It was an information, but for the material flow, but for the organization, it was not enough. And then one of this group here, they told us, well, if you are asking for the customer, not the warehouse, a real customer who is working with our products and who is going on with our products, sometimes we get back material for rework from the quality control. So, and well, it was right because the quality control was served by the warehouse. So the process was this way here. Okay. And afterwards, when we got all the internal processes, we were starting to optimize these processes. And one step was here, and we were asking them, how can we organize uh, a better way in this process here from A to Q, from the assembly to the quality control. And they told us then the average of time when the material was coming back was about 4 weeks. So they got back the material to rework after 4 weeks. So now we got also the time for this way. The material took this way here. So, and we asked if it would be possible to organize this to have a better throughput time for this way here. And well, they decided to talk to those here. They decided to talk with those here. Well, the group manager to talk with this group here if it would be possible. Uh, uh, Using another organization to deliver direct from the assembly to the quality control. The idea was to shorten the throughput time uh, for those 4 weeks. The material was waiting here in the warehouse, and the result was that they decided to talk once a week, to sit once a week together to talk about the production orders they will do here and they will do here to give it from this step to this step here. The result was that they reduced the throughput time for 4 weeks. What was the other? So we had a better time-oriented system. The throughput time was better. And then we were thinking about the costs. And well, you can imagine that probably if the material, and it was in the Siemens company, I can't tell it now, if the material takes away, the material takes this way here, they have the whole value of this material was 1 million a year. It was more. All over the year, the value of the material was taking this way was one year. So if we can shorten the throughput time for 1 month, we can shorten, or we can decrease this work in progress of 1 million divided by 12. I will divide it by 10. 10, okay, because we have we have to pay for the work in progress 1 month less. So it's 100,000. And I don't know if you know what should be the warehouse uh, cost. What are the warehouse costs in an industrial company? We are talking about warehouse cost rates in an industrial company between 20% and 30%. Well, it's a lot, huh? Well, you have to pay these 20%, for instance, for taxes, for employees in a warehouse, for the warehouse, rent of a warehouse, or for the warehouse, for the insurance of a warehouse, uh, taxes and heating and so on. So 20% is really low, and 30%, it's 25% should be a good warehouse cost rate. So if you are calculating only with a warehouse cost rate of 20%, uh, these are 20%. So the idea to sit together once a week to coordinate the production orders between these two steps in the process will give us back 2,000 euros warehouse costs. Only the warehouse costs. This was so on the one side, we are fasting, so we are more flexible. We can deliver in a in a shorter time, and we can reduce the costs. The question was not now, and what's about the quality? What's about the quality now? Well, if we don't have 4 weeks for transfer for this way here, so we have so we will get, if we have a problem, a quality problem, immediately we can send it back to the assembly, and probably we will not have finished the whole production order. So we only have started with this production order, and because we have a very short delivery time between these two uh, uh, stations here, we can react immediately, and so we also have a quality. We have also optimized our quality, and in the same time, reducing the quality produced, we also reduce the costs because we have less rework order. We have had rework orders, and so if we are working process oriented in a supply chain, it is possible to reduce at the same time the costs, to reduce to have to get better quality, and to reduce and to get better time oriented target system. Just an example, I remember from a project optimizing with a uh, uh, continuous improvement project, the internal supply chain. Okay. I have to go back. But you will also discuss in your group different targets where you will find where you will have uh, problems. In the beginning, I will tell it to you because we have no time to make an analysis of a warehouse conditions and the warehouse. I will tell you that the warehouse is full when we are starting with our company. Normally, if you are starting with with a company, one of the first things you have to do, you have to go to the warehouse to have to look for the capacity which would be possible to produce something, and you will have a look to the warehouse if you have products where we have too much, or we have to look for to get more. And so if you're starting with a simulation or with a planning for your small company, you will get the information that you have a high warehouse level. If you are starting to decrease the warehouse level, the effective, and this is sure, will be that you have problems to get a high efficiency. Because if if you try to decrease the warehouse, especially on the level of the finished products, sure, you can decrease the warehouse, but you have to produce less. You have to produce less finished products, and probably or sure you also have to produce less semi-finished products, and at the end you also have to buy less material, less purchased items. But you have to produce less because you want to decrease the warehouse. So you have a conflict between those two targets here. And this is also reality in the daily work, that you have a lot of conflicts between the targets. And the problem of a traditional production system, not a supply chain system, the traditional production system, is that they are focused on their own target system, their own function, and a target system of their functions. So the one who is responsible for the quality, he will try to get the best of the quality. Those who are responsible for the warehouse, he will try to have a low warehouse value. Those who are responsible for the production system, they will try to have a high efficiency. And those who are responsible for the sales, they will try to have a high delivery reliability. And so they will try to have a lot of material in the warehouse so that they can deliver the customer orders. Or those who will be responsible for the purchasing, probably they will try to buy more, because in this case they get better prices. So everyone is responsible for his function, and he has own target. He has his own target system, especially for his function. And they will all do their best they can do, but in reality, we should try to get a high operational result over considering the whole supply chain, and the customer satisfaction. Okay. Okay. Every time it's the question. How should we tailor our application and adjusted code to get a maximum of operational results and customer benefit? We cannot always and only reduce the costs. We cannot only look for an optimized oriented for short throughput times or delivery times, product availability. So we have to balance these every time. We have to balance these systems, and not only look for the cost, only look for the quality, only look for the quality-oriented systems, target system. And this is an example I always show to my employees in the Siemens company. It was it was a real example of one department. Well, all over the year, it was not only a department, it was a big department. They were purchasing material for $5 million or euros. Today, the euro is equal to the dollar. Okay, they were so they were buying and material for all over the year for $5 million, and they were selling to the customer a value of $15 million a year. So the average value in their work in progress or in the warehouse was 5 plus 15 divided by 2, 10 and 10 millions. Yeah? Because we have an additional value all over the throughput time they were producing their products. And this lead time or this throughput time in this department was 3.1 months. And I was asking, I wanted to explain then, in their situation, with a lead time of 3.1 months, I was asking them, can you imagine that it would be possible to decrease the throughput time only for 1 week? Only for 1 week? And they told me, well, probably. If we are looking for the process, if you have a good process management, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. And then we were calculating together what should be the cost reduction of these 1 week. We already made it for the other example, but we also have done it here. So 1 week lead time reduction, it means reduction of the warehouse value. We have an average value of lead time of 10 million euros. And I'm calculating 50 weeks a year. So we will reduce the warehouse value for 1 week. And this means we have $200,000 less warehouse value to pay for, because we don't have to pay for it for 1 week. I also took a warehouse cost rate of 20%. So the cost reduction of these 200,000 would be $40,000. Warehouse cost rate 1 year. So if you are doing this process management all over the supply chain and you can reduce it, you will see you can reduce your costs a lot. Just looking for the throughput or for the lead time. And in the same time, when you are looking for to shorten the throughput time, you will get a better reliability, delivery reliability. You will get a more flexible supply chain process. And well, so on the one time, we are reducing the costs. We are reducing the time, so we get a better customer satisfaction, and maybe because we have a better, so we have shorter lead times, we also will get a better quality. Okay. We do not produce faster. We do not have to produce faster to get these better throughput times or these better lead times. We are just doing organizational measurements, and not we don't have to produce faster to get the better quality. Okay, these are 3 principles how to set up a flow-oriented supply chain. But don't want to talk yet about this. This is a method we always used when we were when we were starting process management in a supply chain. So when we were starting uh, to realize to realize market orientated to get better market orientation. These are the principles of logistics, market orientation. Flow principle, we try then we try to realize the flow principle, and the third logistical principle, the holisticness, so that we are always checking not the functions, we were checking for whole processes, uh, internal or external processes in a supply chain. We tried to realize the flow principle, and we tried to get to realize the market orienters, and this was a method we all always used, and we also used it here. We used it in the uh, uh, in the Siemens company. We also use it in the Porsche company when we had a big project in the Porsche company. I just wanted to what no no I don't want to talk about the flow principle. I just want to show it to you, but we can discuss this later on. I don't know if I have enough time today. So if you have time, we will talk about it later on. If you have if you want to realize a flow principle, a flow-oriented supply chain, if there is a possibility to start with the products, we should start to reorganize and to do a re-engineering on the products. If we have a flow-oriented product and the market-oriented product, a production-oriented product, we will have profit in all other steps of the supply chain. If we have a product, for instance, we have to produce a bridge, and well, we have to establish this bridge in a wooden environment, and our idea is to produce a bridge, a steel bridge. Probably the processes will be much complicated than if we would decide to produce a wooden bridge. It's just an example. So we are starting to get better processes. We are starting to think about the products first, if it is possible. Many times it's not possible to change the products, but if it would be possible, we have to start here. And this is probably also the problem we have in the automobile production in Germany. We have products we don't want to change, and in China they are producing complete new products, which are developed looking on the following production processes. Yeah? And this is one of the problems we have in this time. Okay, the next step will be to set up the right processes, to think about optimized processes. Then we can, if we have defined the processes, we can think about the market-oriented control. We are of processes, and we are talking about push principles and pull principles. We can push our production through a production system, or we can pull it through a production system. Afterwards, we have to think about the structural organization. So we have no definition of a structural organization. We are ready to change the organization, and probably we have to change from a function-oriented organization to a process-oriented organization, to a supply chain organized oriented organization. Well, because we are changing the organization, we should also think about the qualification of the employees, because probably they have other things to do now. They need another qualification. Probably they need a higher qualification. And at last, not before, at last we are thinking about the adaptation on the information and communication system. It's not like that we have a communication system and we are asking, so we have a really expensive communication information and communication system. So what can we do with? No, that's not the problem. The problem is first to think about a supply chain or a flow-oriented products, then to adapt the processes to our products, to adapt the control system to the processes, and to adapt the structural organization to this, what we have done here. Then we have to qualify the employees, and now we have to adapt our information and communication system. You have to customize the information and communication system to the new designed flow principle of the production line. Okay, I will go on because I have a lot of examples here, and we can talk about these examples if we have more time. Okay. I would propose to, what's the time in Vietnam now? I have no time. Uh, you want to have 1 hour of no, what's the time in Vietnam now?
It's around 3:40 p.m.
Okay. I wanted to have to make a short break, but I have no. mm, no, it's 9:30, and it's uh, the planning was to have 1 hour. No, no, we have no large break. We have a break. Okay, so let's have a small break of like before of 7 to 10 minutes, and then we will go on. That's okay?
Yes, Professor.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, okay. Because I also want to drink a coffee. So in Vietnam, it's 6 or 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's 4 o'clock.
It's 10
It's,
to
it,
4, Professor.
yeah, it's 10 minutes before 4 o'clock.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Here it is 10 minutes to 10 to 10. Uh, just some organizational things. I don't know if Mrs. Tu told you. You have to bring your own computer because we have no devices in Ho Chi Minh City. So every group should have minimum one computer with internet or Wi-Fi. Yeah. And it's good to have calculators. Well, you can calculate with your computer. If everybody has a computer, you can calculate. But a normal calculator, because you have to calculate a lot next week. So just bring a computer and one computer for each group, or you can bring more computers, but the minimum should be one computer, one laptop, one tablet, so that you can work with a group. It's better if everybody has a tablet or a laptop and it's also good to have a calculator. And just a question, who organized the lecture rooms? Did the students, did you organize it, or was it organized?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's me, Steven.
Oh, thank you very much. Because
Yeah, welcome. You're welcome.
I was asking, they told no, it's not possible to do it. Okay.
So at the first time, I afraid you don't agree to organize the lecture room in Ho Chi Minh City. But Mr. and Dr. Sayed say that you totally agree to stay in Ho Chi Minh City and train for us.
Yeah.
So that we,
I was asking, and they told me first it's not possible. You have to come to Minjung. Well,
yeah, okay.
thank you, Lee.
Yeah, anytime, yeah.
It's nice. It's nice in Binjung, and you know we also have a possibility to stay there in the night, but you have nothing to do there, and it takes a lot of time. And well, the bus ride.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. It take 4 or 5 hours for
Yeah,
2 ways.
yeah,
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 so lazy for us. Yeah.
yeah. And because you're only there on weekend. Uh, okay. Before we went to the old university place, and
Mm-hmm.
it also took about 1:45 minutes. It was also in Binchung, but it was not so far away. And okay, but it's good.
Yeah.
So, and then
Do
once
do you
uh, yes,
do you already book your hotel?
yeah, I already booked a hotel near the Turtles Lake. But what
Yes.
did it
The
have some advices where to go?
yes. The room is not far from District 1. It's okay. It's
Can you
District
send
10 is located in the center of the city. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, can you send me the connection to the hotel?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Because I think the first days we will stay in the hotel we booked, uh, but I I think we will go. My wife is with me, and probably uh, we will go in the week. We will go to the seaside. Sure, we will have a course, but I don't have to stay in Ho Chi Minh City because I'm not working there all day long. And so we
Yeah,
will
okay.
come back. We will come back for the weekend, for the weekends and for the exam, and probably
Mm.
change for hotel then.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I will send you an email, and you
Yeah.
can call me when you come to the lecture room, and I can guide you from the hotel to the lecture room, or I can pick a Grab car to your hotel, and we can come together to the lecture room in a digital. It's
Yeah,
okay
but
for us. Yeah.
I think there's a good connection by bus to come to the lecture room. There's
Yeah, yeah.
only have to take one bus. One bus I was looking for. It takes about 30 minutes.
Mm.
But I don't have to change bus.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And I'm used to stay in Ho Chi Minh City, you know.
Yeah, so that's good.
Uh, Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Let's go on. I went back because I could see that we are good in time. So I will show you this part here, and this is a method we used when we had project work. Many times we were asked to organize the processes, but normally you also have to expect those three logistic principles. The market oriented we were talking about, because depending on the market, uh, we have to adapt our processes. We have to adapt our products. So we cannot first we cannot start with the product. First of all, we have to know our market, and we have to adapt our market orientation. Then we always have to check the whole supply chain and the whole processes, not only the functions. That's another principle we have to check for, and then we can start to organize the flow principles. And I already started to show you how to work through to organize the flow principles, and I just wanted to show you some examples. Okay, market orientations. So we are starting with the market orientation. We already talked about this, and everybody in the supply chain should not be focused on his own function, only on his own function. Sure, also this, but he should know what's his position in the whole supply chain, and how he can what's the result of his activities in the supply chain on the one side, to his customer in the supply chain, and probably also to the customer, at least on the market. And the example I showed you, this was in the beginning. First, we didn't know the processes. Second problem was nobody knew who is the next customer. They just delivered to the warehouse, and they didn't know what kind of quality aspects has his customer in the supply chain, the next one. And they didn't know what are the results of their work to the end of the supply chain. And so we walked step by step. We walked to this company. It was also a Siemens company, to registrate the supply chains and processes from the beginning to the end. And we showed them uh, the every department got the information. What are what are the how do you say, how do they work in the whole supply chain, and what should be the results of their activities in the supply chain on the one side to the next step, on the other side to the end of the supply chain. Okay, and looking on the market, we have different we have different markets. We have products we have to deliver at once, and if we have to deliver at once, we have to keep our final products in a warehouse. Otherwise, we cannot deliver to the market. We have for instance, we have other products we can deliver because we have short delivery times, so we can deliver but realizing at the end of before realizing the assembly. This is possible in the automobile industry. Uh, truck assembly, for instance. For the truck assembly, we need for the final truck assembly, we need no more time than throughput time than 2 days. And it is possible if we have enough material for the final assembly to deliver a truck in 2 days. Or okay, so we have other products, for instance, where we only have to get the material, the purchased items in the warehouse, and we can produce the whole final product using only the purchased items of a warehouse, or we have an order-related procurement and manufacturing, so we have a time to order the material and so on. So you see, we have very different products, and we cannot say we want to produce with a very low warehouse level. Depending on the products, we have to keep warehouse. We have to keep a warehouse situation, and average. And this is the first thing we have to do, just to check what's the market, what the market asks for, and every time if we are speaking about if we are talking about the flow, really to realize the flow principle, to realize a better production line, to realize the whole a better supply chain, a whole supply chain, we always have to think about the whole supply chain, the holisticness of the supply chain. Here's an example, and our order was to realize the best processes only in the production of this is the city where the production is, in the production of CAM. It was a product in the Siemens company, and it was possible to get better lead times from 3 days to 1 day. But afterwards, we were checking the whole supply chain from the sourcing to the delivery of our customer. And they could see that the optimization of the production process were only a very short part of the whole supply chain. And so the next project was to make to optimize the whole supply chain, and so we could shorten the lead time. Not 50%, but 40% we could shorten the lead time of the whole supply chain. I just wanted to show you that realizing shortening the lead time only in the production system, well, it brought 2 days, but looking for the whole supply chain brought much more. Okay, here also just another example for holisticness. All in such a supply chain have to work together, and if you have a bottleneck at one time. We have to look for this bottleneck. It's really important because the bottleneck is always responsible for most of the lead times in the complete supply chain. And this is just an example from the sports where probably one of them is not working together with the other ones. And this will be, it shouldn't be a bottleneck. He can also be better than the other ones, but the system will not bring better results when he's better than the other ones. No, inverse, probably. It will be worse. Okay, just an idea. Okay, holisticness and oriented is really important. But now to the flow principle, and I remember when we got an order to organize new processes in the department, they were producing steam gas turbines. These are great really large and great products, and the value of these products are several $100 million for one product. And the reason was, I remember the first meeting we had, they told us that General Electric in the USA is much better than Siemens. They have better they have better prices, and they are delivering in much in shorter delivery times. And so they had problems, and they wanted that we are reorganizing the whole supply chain process of these gas and steam turbines. It was a big project, and we were starting with this project, but after different meetings, we recognized that we were not comparing the same products. They also, General Electric, they are also sold steam turbine machines, but they were much more generalized and better constructed. And just let me make a short design. Probably, if you can say, Siemens was producing probably a product which was like this one, with different very different products. The one was very special, the other one was standardized. Here we had another specialty, and when we were looking for the General Electric products, these were very simple or really standardized products. They had no special functions like the Siemens one. And Siemens was producing a product which was very special, with very special functions and so on. So it was much more difficult on the one side to realize the products. On the other side, it was much more cost intensive comparing with those products which were sold by General Electric. And so we asked if it would be possible to go back this step to start to think about the products. And we got this, we could go back, and then we were sitting together with the development department, and we were thinking about the product. And the new products of Siemens was that we designed a standard product. And for this standard product, we could organize very simple processes, very fast and simple processes to costs which were much lower than if we have produced before. So And with these products, now we compared our products with General Electric, the products of General Electric, and organizing new processes, we could get lower production costs. It's the same like I told you before with the automobile industry in Germany and in China, for instance. We just organized and developed a new product structure, which is based on a very standardized product. Okay, and these products we could compare with the products of General Electric, and we also could compare with the costs and the prices of General Electric. But because Siemens was a specialist also for those products which are with other functions, so we organized add-ons to this. We organized add-ons to these products, and we could tell our customers, well, first of all, you get this standardized product, but if you want to get this function here, we can deliver this function. But it's just a little bit more expensive, but we can deliver it because it's an add-on. We are always selling also to other companies. And also here, if you want this, you have to pay more for this. You have to pay more for this. And sure, if you want to get this function here and this function here, we need just a little bit more time. So we could compare us with General Electric, and the customer understood why we were asking a little bit more than the price was for General Electric, and why we would ask more time to deliver, because we proposed other functions they couldn't get by General Electric. And then we also decided not only to propose these add-ons on the product, we also proposed that we would be able to deliver also special orders which are not standardized. So the customer could tell us what he needs, but this was special tailored for our customer, and the customer was able to understand that if we have to organize a special option, it takes more time and it's much more expensive. So, and depending on this concept now, we realized new production processes. Well, we had the standard process for this one, for this standard product. We had standard processes for these add-ons, and we have these special tailored. We have had no standard processes for these special tailored products, and we made we made this because I remembered another project we had in the Porsche company. In the Porsche company, it was they had the same problem, and because they were producing this time they were producing very special Porsches. Every Porsche had another key system, for instance. They produced the seats, they were produced by Porsche, especially each seat was produced by Porsche. And what we have done first, before we were starting here with the designing of the process, we started with the products, and we decided not to produce. They were producing the key systems for themselves in the Porsche company, and they decided not to do this in the future, to buy it from a specialist of key systems, and they also decided that they will use in the future. They will use in each model, in each variant, the same key system. Okay, and so you can imagine that the supply chain will got other processes, because we haven't had to produce anymore the key systems. And in the same time, they also decided not to produce anymore the seats in the seats. Now the seats were produced by Recaro, which is a well-known company not far away from Mercedes, and they are famous for good seats. The seats in Singapore Airlines, for instance, are also produced by Recaro in Germany. And they had I just remember the time when we were discussing about the seat production. Porsche had their own seat production, which was manufactured. Really, each seat was not produced on a production line. Each seat was produced really, especially with very different processes, because they told we have a lot of customers. They want their own seat. The one is coming from the USA. They want to have a special seat. The other one, he brings his leather, and he wants to use his own leather. The other one, he wants another color, and so on. And we stopped, and they stopped this production and gave it to a specialist, to the specialist of seat production to Recaro. Just wait. And what have they done? They made just what we have done here, and this was the idea I had in this moment when I was when we had this project here. They reorganized the production system, and they produced standardized products, seats with standardized colors. And before, the argument was that we have a lot of customers, they want a special seat. But those customers with special seats were only 5 to 10%. So for 90%, 95%, now the specialist of seats production was producing in a production line, was importing material for this production line, 80% of the material for this production line. And only 5% or 5 to 10% got a special seat. And for those, they have had a small workshop where they were producing with different processes a special seat. And somebody who wanted a special seat, he was shown here this special production here, and well, when he could see how especially his seat was produced, he was able to pay much more, and he understood that it takes much more time than to produce a seat on the production line here. So you can imagine here we have just another supply chain than here, because here we are ordering only system components. Here we are ordering special leather and special materials, special colors, and so on. And the supply chain is just another supply chain. Okay, we could reduce the lead time here as much as possible. It was really short afterwards. And here, the customers here, they haven't had the problem that they haven't had a car, and we had to deliver the car very, very fast. They had a lot of cars at home, and they were able to wait because they wanted to get their own created seat and so on. Okay. So if it is possible, in a production line, we are starting here to think about the products. Sure, in many times it's not possible. Bosch has to deliver electric motors to the automobile industry, and well, they can propose to make some. They can make propositions, but many times they have to do what they are asking for in the automobile industry. Afterwards, we are starting with the process. Okay, just let me see. Okay, if we are thinking about, I was talking about standardized products and components. And this is just an example also from the Siemens and Bosch company. They were thinking about how to create a flow-oriented, supply chain-oriented production product, and for a washing machine. And this was an example. This washing machine, this special washing machine, and you know, Bosch and Siemens, they were producing together washing machines. And you could get these washing machines on the German or on the European market. The one was Bosch, and the other one was Siemens. And they were from the if a customer was coming to a shop, there were different machines, but internal they had all the wash tube. They only had two tubes with two different drives. The housing on the backside was always the same. Yeah, well, two colors, but it was quite the same. The front wall they had two colors, white and metal. And the back wall, the back wall was, they only had one. But they had 20 different switching machines, or not switching, and controlling systems. Okay. And so they had a very big variance, but they only produced standardized products. And at the end, there was written Bosch or Siemens, and these were different products. And the one bought a Bosch machine, and the other one bought the Siemens machine, and so on. Okay. Just two examples for principle how to go on. And now we can adapt to these products here. Now we can adapt our processes. This we can do in an internal supply chain, but also in a supply chain which comprises customer from customers, and supplier from suppliers. Okay. This was a project in another company where we got the order to reorganize the whole processes. And also here we used more or less this idea here. We had to organize and to optimize the production flow here. But we could see, first of all, we made a design of the material flow. And you can see here we had a very enlarged material flow, while here there was very small material flows. And we could see that they were producing in the same production system in different over different workstations and different departments. They produced on the one side items which they were produced in a number of millions, and they were also producing a special components for their companies in the same production system. And so we decided to build sequence in in their production system. So we took out those here, for instance, and those we were producing on a production line, and only those who were very special for to produce, we produced in this production system here. So we organized our components in which we were using in a number of millions. We produced it in a production line, and we thought about if it would be possible to buy it on the market. Probably they were cheaper to get cheaper on the market, and those who were really special for our products and for our customers, we produced it in the production system we had before. Organizing the production process, especially here in an internal production system, we organized it like that we had a decentralized warehousing. So we were delivering the components direct to the special department. This is the same you can see in the truck assembly near Karlsruhe. I just want to show it to you how they are managing here. They have a big, just let me see. Okay. They have a big production which is about 1.5 kilometers long, and they are producing in this line here their trucks, 1.5 kilometers long, but they have one centralized warehouse delivering to the production lines, and these are only C articles. They order those in big amounts, and they are delivering on the production line, and the components with high value, they get it more or less just in time, and they have no warehouse for those expensive components. They are ordering those from a logistic partner, with a logistic partner, and those logistic partners get entrance with their trucks on the line the time when they are needed. No, sorry, they are not. That is not right. Where is my? Okay, it's not like that. Okay. The trucks stay here in this way, and this is a warehouse. They keep the warehouse in the trucks, and they can come, and so they have a very low warehouse value, and they are just delivering the line with the motors, for instance, the gears, and the very expensive components on the line. What I tried to show you here. Okay. Well, those components are also produced by Mercedes. Most of them are also produced by Mercedes. Not the seats, but for instance, the motor is produced about 70 kilometers far away from this production plant, and so they have to bring their motors just the day before, and they have to stay at the production line to deliver the production line with the special motors for I don't know if you if it is famous Benetton, but in my time or in this time, Benetton was really famous, really famous. And the slogan of this company was the United Colors of Benetton, and so they also made their they depending on this slogan here, they made their publication. Look here, we have people around the world. The United people from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from the Western world, and this should demonstrate also the United Colors of Benetton, but not only the public relation was assimilated, should assimilate this slogan here. But also the supply chain, the products were produced using this slogan here. Okay, the products design coordinated with the SCM strategy. They had standard cuts, so the cuts were standard, and the variance was determined by the colors. So the standard cuts they didn't change all over the year or only change half a year, and the variance was determined by the colors and the United Colors of Benetton. So also here the colors were, you could find the colors in the product structures, and the colors could be accorded to the sales very quickly. They didn't change the cuts; they only changed the colors. So the marketing slogan, United Colors of Benetton, coordinated with this product structure. The product variances is dominated by the colors. Okay, also. The manufacturing process was coordinated with the SCM strategy, definition of variance only in the late manufacturing process. So they produce the standard cuts, and postponement technique reverse to traditional die. So before they bought the different. Not only they not produce the only cuts, and they also they only bought the material in the special colors, and the colors were made before they made the cut of the clothes, and now they made the color after the cut of a clothes. So definition of variance only late in the manufacturing process. Postponement technique reversed. The technical dye first, knit after. Dye first, knit after. More into knit first, dye after. So the cut was, they outsourced production, and they organized an outsourced production process, regional in Europe, but also global and in all over the world. So the production control tailored to demand and production process, knit process according to the pull principle, dye process to the push principle. So knit process was made before, and the cuts were always the same, and the dye process, the colors, were made in the push principle. You remember the example I showed you with a washing machine. Yeah, Also there, they have made it in this way that the system components were produced in the pull principle, and the variants they had to deliver on the market, they were produced in the pull principle. And also okay, no, here it was under in the push principle. Okay, yeah, it's just quite the same way here. Information and communication system. They had an integrated, centralized information and communication system according to the marketing strategy, production, process, and control principle. So centralized, they got the sales of each shop all over the world, and so they could calculate the demand centralized, and could organize the purchasing and production orders. For the global supply chain, Sarah, you can read a lot. And I just took a hard copy of one descriptions. They remember before we had lead times of about 6 months. In this case here, where they showed the first day, they get a design in Spain, a designer in Spain sent a new closing. No, Sarah is a Spain company, and they got a new design from a manager and the latest trends. So he accepted the design, and in 2 to 5 days they could make a prototype. This prototype could go to the production, and a production of 80 new pieces could be made can be made in 6 to 21 days. Then we need then we need about 2 to 3 days to send it anywhere in the world. And the 25th day, in this example, could be sent after starting here, after 25 cents to the store in Manhattan. And if you remember before, we had a lead time of about half a year, and they are very, very flexible. Also today, I think Sarah is well known also in Vietnam, all over the world, and they are famous that they are changing their collection every time. They have no special collection. They are changing every time because they have very small lead times. Okay, this was now the theoretical part of more or less focused on supply chain management, the theoretical parts and project management. What we are doing now in our case study will be the operations management for supply chains. Yeah. Also here we need some terms, definitions, targets, methods, and principles, because we are talking about bill of materials, we are talking about master production schedule, and so on. And because we have not all the same knowledge, I have to explain it first. And tomorrow we will start with exercises to be prepared when I will come next week to start with a simulation game or simulation study training. Okay. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, now. No, okay. We are here in this part here now, and I will explain what are the different what's a master production schedule, a material requirement planning, a capacity planning, and so on. tomorrow we have several exercises to do, and I will start to explain what's the master production schedule. Okay, the operational process on the Intel supply chain management in a value chain will be that we have our supply chain. We will get a production a fixed production process. So you can not change the process. But you are responsible for the operations management in this supply chain, in this expanded supply chain, because we also have customer relations to consider. Okay. We get information from the customer. Every day we get, every week we are doing 7 times the weekly planning. We get information from the customer to the sales. The customer gives information to the sales. We get every week forecasts and information from the sales about what we have to deliver, and what should be the forecasts. Afterwards, we have to do a production planning. And this production planning gives us the production orders. The result will be the production orders on the one side. On the other side, the purchase orders. We have to procure repurchasing. The supply, here we have different possibilities how we can buy it. We can buy it more or less expensive from the supplier. We will get the material from the and the production will be simulated, and the delivery will be simulated. The production control, the sales will be given. We have to do the production planning. We have to organize the purchasing. We have to do the production. We have to organize the production control and the delivery control. Only the production and the delivery of a material will be simulated. So we have, because we have on the one side, we have an internal integrated process, and because we are working together with our customer and sale supplier, we have extended integrated supply chain process. So if we are doing supply chain strategies in an operations system, we can consider different strategies. We can set up a strategy of focusing on high efficiency. We can focus on low inventory levels. We can focusing of optimizing warehousing of purchasing parts. We can focusing a strategy of high customer satisfaction. We can set up a focus on optimum performance. We can use smaller lot sizes. We can split or splitted lot sizes. You can discuss and getting better results, sequencing with priorities, the production and the sales orders and the different orders you have to handle. The integration aspect is important. You have to cooperate between the different internal departments, purchasing, production, and distribution, you remember. Okay, including the customer and supplier must be taken into account. You have uncertainties in demand. You have uncertainties in lead times when you are producing something. And you have to analyze at least and record the benefits of your simulation study. You have to make a presentation at least. This is what you have to discuss always in your group. And probably you will do it every week, new. Okay. Every group of 6 students will have the same production system. So we have a competition between the different groups, and we can compare the activity of those groups at least. So the last time we will have a small presentation, and we will see what were the different strategy in the different groups, and what are the results of the different groups. And sure, we also will have a competition between those groups. Okay. This is the initial situation for the first 2 weeks. Later on, if you want, if you have possibility, if you need, you can go to a marketplace, and on this marketplace you can trade with other groups. In this time yet, I just finished my course in Germany. Otherwise, you would have also taken working together with groups in Germany. I will start groups in Italy, in Greece, when I will be back from Vietnam. I will go to Greece, and we will start the same course there. But if they would be in the same time on the market, you could buy material from other groups, and you also can sell material to those groups there. There is a marketplace. But in the first period, don't do it. You don't have the time to do it. We can talk about this after the second period to start cooperations with other groups on the marketplace. On the marketplace, or with the marketplace, we have 2 kinds of activities we can realize. Either your group is here, you are acting as a passive organization. You get active offers from the sales market. So it's a bidding-driven market activity. Or your company can be active on the marketplace. You can make a request that you need something to your suppliers. So you have a request-driven market activity. Yeah. Both possibilities you have on this marketplace. If you have here the different groups, you have different possibilities how you can be active on the marketplace. Either here, this I just want to explain it. You have, in the beginning, you have an anonymous market. You know the products you can buy on the anonymous market, and you know the prices you have to pay, and you also know the purchasing costs you have to pay for. You don't know from which company you will get the material, and we have no quality problems. We will not simulate it. It's possible to simulate it, but it would be more complicated, and we don't have the time for it. Okay, so you are going to in the first time, you are going to an anonymous market where you get, and you can buy it from anonymous markets. There is no restrictions. You know the prices. you have to pay for, and you know the price reduction, so you might get on the anonymous markers, and you know what you have to pay for the delivery costs or for the purchasing costs. You also might realize a marketplace where you can set offers or requests to the whole market. So you can give a request to the whole market, and all groups which are active in the simulation can make offers, and you or can accept it. Everyone. Or you have a B2B or B2C, right? You can activate B2B or B2C relations, so you can discuss with special groups the kind you want to work together. So we can discuss that you every week you want to sell a special amount of material to another group for a fixed price, or you can offer these to a second group, or two groups or four groups can work together and can determine the way they want to work together. These are the three possibilities you can realize on the marketplace if you want and if you have time. Okay, here. Every week we get information from the sales department. These are anonymous offers from the sales market in the beginning. Later, you also can get offers from other groups. But in the beginning, we also have anonymous markets, which sends us for forecasts and demands for next week. We got information from the construction department. All the bill of materials normally are made by the construction department, and these bill of materials, we get it from the construction. We get information from the production scheduling, like routing plans. In the routing plans, you will find the way we have to produce our products. This is given. So we are producing 3 different variants of a product. We are producing bikes. We have children bikes to produce. We have men's bikes to produce. We have ladies' bikes to produce. And the way how we want to produce it, we cannot change it. We will get it from the warehouse. We are in a situation that we are doing the operations management. Okay. And then we are responsible for the planning, disposition of human resources, production facilities, material requirements, information needs. We have to compare the results, and depending on the results, we have to do regulations. If we couldn't realize 100% of our targets, probably we have to give a short-term feedback to our own planning and a long-term feedback to previous departments, like the sales, the construction, or the production scheduling. For instance, for the sales, if they give us too many offers, we cannot realize it in the production system. It's a very, very small company, only 15 working places. And I remember several times, well, just a small history. We developed this simulation game because we made simulation studies, and Siemens was asking us if we can use these studies also for teaching. And they told him, as we can imagine, that if you have a small company simulated on a computer system, our employees will have the possibility to make a planning for this company. And the aspect should be, on the one side, that they don't have to do their job normally. They have to do, we have people from the sales department, and they are only responsible for the sales. We have employees from the production planning and from the but they are only responsible for the production planning. We have employees from the purchasing department, but they are only responsible for the purchasing. And we have production. We have employees from the delivery and so on. So they are working very well in their departments. They are doing the best they can do. But they are not interested. They don't know. They are not interested what the others are doing. We consider that the sales department, he has to sell something. He has to look for the prices. He has to look for as much material afterwards they need to produce something, so that every time they will have enough material to produce something. The production planning is let's look for the warehousing. Warehousing is or delivery, sales, purchasing. They are responsible for the prices, and they will try to get good prices from the supplier. And they are not interested in the warehousing. So at the end, they are proud to make a good price, probably buying too much and filling up the warehouse. So everyone in this logistic or supply chain has own targets, is working to realize the own targets best, and is not interested in the targets of the other groups. What's important is the result of other operations results in general. Okay. And we will try, for the future, we will try to make this seminar with this simulation study here with employees. We want to build group from each department, so that they have to work together and that they have to discuss sales problems, production planning problems, purchasing problems, production control problems, delivery control problems together. So that they get information about the problems in all departments, and so that they get information about the whole supply chain, internal and extended supply chain in our company. Okay, and this was the one. The one was that they had to work together, and the other thing was that they have information about the functions and all the functions in the supply chain and how they have to work together, because they told us they are all working with their own SAP system, and sometimes we could see that the numbers the system was calculating, for instance, the purchasing orders, they felt that they are not right and they have to order more. And so they knew with this item here, we always have to buy 20% more because SAP is ordering less. They didn't know what was calculated in the background because they haven't had the understanding of the whole process here. Okay. And once I had a seminar in one company of Siemens. They told us, since 1 year, we are working with SAP, and the throughput time, the warehouse situation, and so on, is not getting better. We thought when we are buying SAP, when we are introducing SAP, it will get better. Can you tell them how they have to buy, how they have to make disposition, how they have to make capacity calculation, how they have to work together? Can you make a seminar for our employees so that they can use the SAP in a better way? After one day, we remarked that this was not a problem, that they didn't know how to work together. The problem was they got SAP, and when they were when the consultancy was introducing SAP and customizing SAP, they had to put default numbers for the delivery time. And they didn't change it afterwards. Nobody knew that the delivery time were given as default delivery time. And so they worked together all over the year with the wrong delivery times. And this was a typical problem. Nobody knew what was calculating in the background, and everybody was fine that he could work with SAP. It was the first year, and nobody was asking the delivery time, which were entered by the consultancy, and now nobody was checking if the delivery time were right. Okay, and this was the second. So they told us with this simulation study, we will try to explain the whole supply chain process so that everybody knows and can recalculating what he is doing and can get an overview of his process. Okay. The decision, and this is the decision process you have to walk through. No, and just another thing. I know that, or I remember when one of a group, or it was several times, one group, he told me, well, this is I know this process. I'm responsible for the disposition. I'm responsible for the disposition. I'm responsible for the material disposition, and we have material disposition of only 27 or 28 components here, and I'm responsible for 20,000 items to dispose every day. I will not do this simulation study here. The problem is not the complexity of this production system. The problem is that you are not responsible only for one of these functions here. You are responsible for the whole supply chain, and to understand the whole supply chain, it's really complex. You will see it when you have to do your planning. And the planning steps, we will do the planning steps tomorrow for first time, and you will get small exercises for each planning step. You have to analyze first. Normally, you have to analyze the warehouse and the capacity situation. This will be given because we don't have the time to analyze the warehouse situation. Sure, you need 1 or 2 days more to analyze the capacity situation. Probably one day more. If I have more time, it should be one task first to analyze the warehouse and to analyze the capacity situation of this small production system. Then you have to synchronize. You have to accept, refuse, or accept or infuse incoming orders. In the first period, they will be given, but after the first and the second period, we will open the marketplace and it will, and probably you get also additional orders which you can accept or you can refuse it. So you also are responsible for the sales decisions. So you have to set up a master production schedule for several periods. Master production schedule is established on the highest level of our supply chain process, on the level of finished products. And you have to do it every week for the next 4 weeks. Because we have delivery times for purchasing items, and if you have no master production schedule or no production program, and you don't know what you want to produce in 4 weeks, you cannot buy material because the material has delivery times, and you only get it in 4 weeks. So if you don't know what you want to produce in 4 weeks, you cannot order. Probably you know what you have to deliver, but this is not a problem to decide what you have to buy. You have to buy to purchase material. The number should be adapted not to the number of finished products you have to deliver. It must be adapted to the number of products you want to produce. And it might be that in one period you want to deliver 500, but you only want to produce 100 because you want to decrease the warehouse, for instance. Or you want to produce more than you have to deliver because you know that next weekend we will have TED holidays and we will not produce. So you have to produce in advance and you will not produce the same amount you have to deliver. We will talk about the master production schedule. You have to set up a material requirement planning for semi-finished and finished products. Depending on the master production schedule, you have to calculate the components you need to produce those master production schedule. And this you have to do afterwards, depending on the number of the production program. Now you know the production orders here. And depending on those production orders, you have to look at different working places where you have to realize these production orders, where you have to produce those production orders to manufacture it. And you have to, for these working places, you have to make a capacity planning. And on the one side, you want to have a high efficiency. So you want to use your capacity on the different working place as best as you can. And probably on the other side, you want to decrease the warehouse. Probably you want to decrease the final products because you know the final products are those which have the highest value. So if you can decrease the final products, you will decrease more than if you would decrease the purchased items, which are not so expensive. Okay. So you have to perform a production capacity planning. You also have to do a planning of a lot sizes because you know what you have to produce. You know what you have to what you need to produce of the purchasing items. But probably this is not an optimized lot size because either you can only buy a special lot size, or you have to pay a lot of purchasing costs. So probably you will buy more because it's better to buy more because the purchasing costs are fixed and will be calculated on each item. Or probably you also can discuss with another group. No, you can buy more. If you're buying more, you will get a discount And it's also possible if there is an open market, you can also discuss with another group if you want to buy the material together. So you can buy a bigger amount, and you only have to pay once the order costs. Okay. So you have to plan the lot sizes and schedule the manufacturing order for the manufacturing orders. You can discuss in your group if you want to split the orders. Sometimes it's good to split the orders because small orders are faster than big orders. I showed it to you. I showed you the throughput time. And probably you need very urgently, you need a small lot size to deliver the market, and the rest of your production orders, you had a planning for safety stock, and so probably it would be good to have to produce first a small lot size with a high priority because we want to deliver our products on the market to have a higher delivery reliability, and the rest of the production order you wanted to plan for safety stock. You want to produce. You will produce it with a lower priority. You have to schedule. Okay, the purchasing parts. Okay. Okay, you can discuss in your group strategic purchasing decisions. I told you this morning that the purchasing is that your warehouse is full. You have enough material in the warehouse. Not always enough material, but most of our items are really enough. So probably you will decide in your group to decrease the warehouse value. So you can also discuss a strategy how to decrease it. Do we want to decrease it on the final products, on the level of a final product? Do we want to decrease it on the level of a semi-finished product? Do we want to decrease it on the level of the purchase items? Do we want to decrease it on the final product of the ladies' bikes? Do we want to decrease it on the level of children's bikes? On the children's bike? Do we want to decrease it on the men's bikes? Okay. You see, there is a lot to discuss in your group and to decide. Yeah, and then you have to enforce the operational planning. This is not a problem. Here, you only have to input the data into the computer. So you don't have to bring it to the post office. You bring it to the computer and you order it in the computer. Okay, these are the different steps, and this could be a good process orientation when you are starting or when you are procuring your production planning for the next week. No, I will not explain this because it's better to explain it after you have done all the simulation studies, because this is the information flow, the whole internal information flow. Okay. Routing. I wanted to do this tomorrow. No, I don't want to start with this today. We will do the simulation. I will make the introduction. Just let me show. Introduction to the simulation tomorrow. It seems much more than today, but you have tomorrow. I have a lot of slides between. You didn't got those. these are the results of your planning you have to do tomorrow. You will not see it tomorrow. If you have you have to make it tomorrow. And those results, this planning I show you here, you have to do it tomorrow for yourself, not in the group, for yourself. So you will get, for this, you will get, for instance, half an hour to make a production plan, a master production schedule. I explained you how to do it. I will explain it to you how to do it, and you have to do it, and you have to drop it in the Dropbox as an assignment, of one of the assignments. Okay, and these steps you have to do it also in the simulation study in your group. But probably, if you are 6 in a group, probably one is doing the calculation with the bill of material, and other one is responsible for the planning of the master production schedule or the production program. Another one is responsible for purchasing, and other and so on. So tomorrow you have to do all these steps so that everyone in your group will be informed about the different methods and steps you have to walk through, so that you can, the next week, you are able to discuss in your group about the different steps you have to do, and you can understand what you have to do. And these these jobs, these assignments you have to do, I explain you why you have to do it and how you have to do it. And every time, look here I will explain how to make well, this a bill of to calculate with a bill of material. In a bill of material, you are you can see what kind of items you need to manufacture a group. For instance, this is P1. This is a children's bike. I know children's bikes are P1. I want to deliver P1 200. I have a safety stock. Of 50, and my planned safety stock is 100. So if I have to deliver 200 on a warehouse, and I want to keep a safety stock of 100, so I have 200 in a way. I have to deliver 200. I want to keep at the end of a week 100 in a warehouse as safety stock. So I need 300. I have 50. I already have 50 in a warehouse. So I don't need 300. I only need 250. And because I need 250, before I showed you the bill of material, I showed you the structure of these you got the bill of material, and I showed you the structure of this product. You know, to produce one P1, one children's bike, I need the component of in the last assembly station. At the last assembly station, I need the component of E26. This is the pedal group, and I need the bike without the pedal group, and I have to assemble those two components together. And from the bill of material, you got the information that if you want to produce one children's bike, you need one pedal group to produce one children's bike, and you need one bike without a pedal group to assemble those both together to the final children's bike. So if you have to produce, if you want to assemble 250 children's bikes, sure, now you know that you need 150 pedal groups and 150 bikes without a pedal group. This is making the calculation, the analytic top-down. It's a deterministic material requirement planning of semi-finished and finished products using a bill of material. Here you can see the bill of material, and before I already explained it. And here you can you get the information that you need to produce one P1. I need one E50. I need one E26. This is a pedal group, and E51 is a bike without a pedal group. We will discuss this tomorrow. And it seems that is a lot, but here you will find the results of these what you have to do there, and of course therefore I have a lot of slides here. You don't got it because you have to do it for yourself tomorrow. And step by step we will walk through. Without a strategic planning, you just get the info. Just get to do it, so that you are informed to start next week with the simulations with the simulation game. Okay. So, and because I don't want to start now with it, we will do it tomorrow. I hope we have enough time tomorrow. Today it was really, we were really faster than last year. Last year I didn't show you the flow process, how to walk through. I had no questions today, and so I hope it's also good for you if I tell you that you will finish now and not in half or 45 minutes. And see you tomorrow morning once again. And I don't know, I hope I can finish tomorrow the rest of the course, and then we will meet us next week, if you're okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So no, I will start tomorrow with this, and tomorrow I will not. My job is not so much like today. Tomorrow, I just will explain the rest of the slides you got from me, much less, not so many like I have here. And it's up to you to do the assignments. And if you have questions, I can help you. Yes? And you just have to deliver these assignments into the Dropbox just to see that you have been present and you are informed about the function you have to do in the simulation process. And please do these assignments tomorrow, because these are good examples for the preparation of the exam at least. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will stop now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I wish you a nice Sunday evening. And well, I will prepare my suitcase now. Okay. Now we will fly. We will fly on Wednesday, and we will arrive on Thursday. And I don't know. Trili, your name was. You wanted to send me the address of a hotel. The name was Lee, I think. L-E.
Not me.
It's not here.
Sorry. It should be NG. TRE. He will send you the address.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I wish you a nice Saturday evening. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.
Thank
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.